Yes, I'm wearing red lipstick today, and no, it's not because of Valentine's Day, because honestly, I couldn't care less. You're just upset you single and you don't have anyone around to notice you made an effort. Hello my pretties, I have my tea and I'm ready to talk about some music. Yes, today we're going to talk about music. Little disclaimer, this is going to be my 10 favourite albums of all time, except for some very old school vintagey music. I'm a huge fan of the Beatles, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Peggy Lee, Ella Fitzgerald, all of those, like all that older music. I'm keeping those for a separate video, that's why they're not in this list. So if you're wondering where all my Beatle albums are, it's gonna be in a different video, so yeah, let's go! First person I'm going to talk about is Villagers, because only last night I went to a concert. I went to a Villagers gig and it was absolutely amazing. It was in an old church, which I didn't expect. It was so beautiful. The venue and the gig and the songs and everything, it was so good. I filmed loads and it'll be in my February monthly moment, so watch out for that one. It'll be up at the end of February. And you'll be able to see what that was like. This is an album called Darling Arithmetic by Villagers. Villagers is an Irish singer-songwriter. He is a solo artist. Even though Villagers sounds like a band, he's a solo artist named Conor O'Brien. His music is described as, and I'm quoting Spotify on this, indie folk chamber pop. It's just very good. And yeah, just listen to it. Listen to it. I might so ought to have bought another tote bag. Second album on the list is an album by Rilo Kiley called Under the Black Light. Rilo Kiley is a very well-known band. They've been around for ages and they make pop, rock, country, torch kind of music. Again, a very vague description because all of their songs are very diverse. And the reason I picked this album over other albums is I find the style and the subject matter of every song on here very well combined, and even though my favourite Rilo Kiley songs are on other albums, this album feels more like one thing. So it's the best, I don't know, that's kind of why I picked this one. So Under the Black Light, and my favourite song on this one is going to be Breaking Up. So groovy, and if you want to see me dance, I never dance by the way, if you want to see me dance, put that song on, it's very good. What is this doing? What are you doing, Mr. Head? The third album on the list is The Family Jewels by Marina and the Diamonds, which I'm sure most of you have heard of. She had this really big song called Prima Donna, and I'm sure you've heard that on the radio before. The Family Jewels is her debut album, and I prefer this album to her other two albums simply because it's very rough, it's very theatrical, it's very strange and difficult to listen to. So yeah, that's all I look for in a song. That's all I look for in an album. My favourite song of the album is Hermit the Frog or Are You Satisfied? Alright, fourth album is an album by Sufjan Stevens, who is a wonderful man with a wonderful voice and much talent. And I'm talking about his latest album called Carry On Low. I can't say that name. Carry On Low. It'll be somewhere on the screen. The songs are just so good. So good. And my favourite one is Should Have Known Better. And I guess you can describe his music as country folk, singer-songwriter-ish. But very like whimsical as well. It's good. Now number 5 is a soundtrack to a film called The Theory of Everything. If you've seen the film, you can't have missed how beautiful the music is. I saw the film, was completely blown away by it. The soundtrack is just, it completely made the whole thing. It was so good. It is written and composed by Joanne, who's done a lot of film scores, and everything he does is just magical, and magical is really the best word to describe what this music feels like. It's like you're walking in this fairytopia of land. I can't describe how beautiful it is, but you just have to listen to it. It's so good. My favourite song, and I guess you can't really call them separate songs, but oh well, is Domestic Pressures. The number 6 is another very fun album by San Cisco, which is an Australian band who I've got to see live last year? 2 years ago? last year. This is one of those bands I used to listen to before their first album even came out, back in the days when I would like look up music on YouTube. Spotify wasn't even a thing back then, so I would listen to their songs on YouTube, very old school, and then their debut album came out, and then another album, which is the one I'm talking about right now. I haven't actually said the album. Gracetown is the one I'm talking about, which is their latest album. A very good step up from their first album, which I adored as well, but you can really see the growth in those two albums. It's just wonderful. Number 7 is an album by Joe Purdy called Julie Blue, and yes, that has my name in it, and yes, I might have discovered that by looking up my own name on Spotify to see if there are any songs with my name in it, because I'm a narcissist. Yes. But I'm very glad I did, because this is a wonderful album and I'm very happy I discovered it. So the best way to describe Joe Purdy is if you're very stressed out and you really want to relax, listen to this album, put some headphones on, very important, put headphones on, so it'll definitely feel like he's in a room with you and like he's just whispering in your ear and playing the guitar, and it's all very nice and comforting and soothing. My favourite song of the album is I Love the Rain the Most. Very good song, yeah. Number 8 on this list is an album by a bit of a strange band called Hull, don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm talking about their debut album, which is also called Hull, and it is a wonderful, weird thing, and the best way to describe this is think of the Beatles. It's very Beatle-like, very Beatles, Beach Boys, very much that genre, but a little bit weirder, which is good. I like weird music. So check that out if you're into something like that, and my favourite song of the album is Play the Hits. Number 9 is a band called Electric Guest with their album Mondo. I'm sure you've heard of their songs before. If you look it up, I'm sure you recognize one or two because they're quite big and well known. Mondo is just an overall really, really good album. And I love the way Spotify describes them. They say they're a witty, funky pop duo, which I think is the best way to describe it as well. Very good music. My favorite song is Trouble Man. It's not how the song goes, by the way. It's just, no. Don't worry, it's much better. Now I've saved the best for last. I'm talking about the Weepies with Say I Am You, which is such a lovely album, and these people are so lovely. They're a duo called Deb and Steve, and they've been married for years. They used to be solo artists, and then they met each other, and the rest is history, and I think they've got kids. I know they have kids, and they're just a wonderful, wonderful couple, and they released an album last year which is also very, very good, called Sirens. But I've picked this album, Say I Am You, because I have a lot of like nostalgic feelings towards it, because it's the very first album I started listening to. It's very country folk, whimsical-ish, yeah. And my favourite song of the album is World Spins Madly On, which is, to me, one of my favourite songs of all time, simply because it describes a certain feeling so well. Thank you so much for listening to me rambling on about music. It's something I love to talk about. Please let me know in the comments down below what your favourite album is, what your favourite musicians are, maybe you have recommendations for me. Of course, there will be links in the description down below to all of these wonderful artists. And yes, what else? If you want me to talk about more music, if you want to hear me suggest more people to you, please let me know, because I'd love to. Let me know. Ooh, that was some very, very cool tea. Holla! Alrighty, bye bye.